Mayhem. What's up, boys?
Look who decided to show
Look what
up.
the cat dragged in.
This is going to be a disaster. Leave it. I'm a link bending machine. You're doing it too.
Your back window just fell.
Fluffernutter in them.
Do it justice.
What's up, boys? What's up, boys? Every day I'm getting the same questions. What's your favorite tire? What's your favorite axle? What's your favorite shock? And so on. I'm finally gonna do it. I'm gonna make a video, and instead of just me listing my favorite tires or my favorite axles, whatever, I've reached out to a couple different people that I handpicked for specific reasons, and I asked them their top 5 tire choices. Also, if they wanted to say anything about inserts and anything else they wanted to say about the tires in general. So right away, if you're just here for tire names, I'm gonna make this easy. Reached out to Mini Mayhem. Right there's his Instagram. There was his list. I'm just gonna fly through these if you wanna pause it, and then afterwards, I'm gonna go through what they actually said, talk a little bit about it, and what they said about inserts also. Next up, Partying Guy Dave. He gave 10. He split them up between sizes. There's his. We got Venge RC. That was his list. OCC RC. 240 Zach. There's his 5. 786 crawlers. Texoma. And lastly, Money Pit. He was chosen for a unique reason, which I'll talk about. And then out of all these, right here's the top 3. Okay, first up, Mini Mayhem RC. The main reason I chose him, he is known for only doing tiny tire builds. Like the small stuff. So I thought he'd be a good one to get some tiny tire options from. He gave me his list and he said, I really like scaled licensed, but they generally aren't great performers. I agree with that. And then I asked about if he wanted to say anything about inserts, and he didn't say much. He said, we need more tiny tire inserts. So real quick, looking at Mini Mayhem's list. Pitbull PBX, yes, those are good, I agree. These are the Pitbull PBX. I originally got these because it's more of a smooth tread tire, and they work great on my rocks. What did he say next? Pitbull Rocker. I like these a lot too. Pitbull Rockers, another good one. They work well for me. Next up, he said Braven Berserkers. I don't really know where mine are, but keeping that same Braven brand. What is this? Braven Ironside. I've had good luck with this tire. It's another tiny one. Proline Trencher. I think this was a tire that was on every single person's list, or almost every single person's list. Very good tire. And yeah, that's what. Actually, let me say something else about this one. Stock foams seem to work just fine in these, as long as the truck isn't overly heavy. Good tire. And then lastly, oh, actually, he didn't even follow the rules. He listed 6. His last one, Power Hobby MT10. I have no idea about that one. Next up, Partying Guy Dave. Right off the bat, it's no surprise he didn't follow the rules. I asked him for 5 and he sent 10, but that's okay. He did separate them by size. So we got RC 4-wheel drive Scrambler. RC 4-wheel drive Scrambler. Good tires. I like these. These were on a lot of people's lists. JConcept Rupture. This was another tire that was on... Oh, I don't feel like getting those down. JConcept Rupture, good tire on almost everybody's list. JConcept Megalithic. Another great tire. I just recently tried these and I love them. Power Hobby Mud Boss and Power Hobby Trail Warrior. I think he was the only one to mention these 2 tires. So here we got the Power Hobby Mud Boss. These work well for me. I've been happy with them. And he also mentioned Power Hobby Trail Warrior. I like these as well. Partying Guy Dave's smaller list was Proline Trenchers. We talked about them. Injora comp pins, cut/trimmed. Little Guy Racing black labels. This one was a surprise. Cut and trimmed. Proline Super Swampers and Injora mini pins. I then asked Partying Guy Dave if he had anything about inserts he wanted to say. When I got a tire, I take it in my hand unmounted and squish and squeeze it in my hand for about a minute a tire with the foam in it. Then I take them and stretch them a little. My newest thing is that we don't always need anything more than the foam it comes with. Running a narrower wheel, you can run up to 410-ish weight with just the stock foam. Also, having the rear squish will allow the tire to collapse into a ledge and help it pull the line. Fancy inserts aren't always the answer. Thank you, Partying Guy Dave. Next up, Venge RC. I reached out to this guy because he does a lot of competition stuff, and also he creates a lot of cool stuff of his own designs. He knows what he's doing. That's what I'm trying to say. JConcept Megalithic. Already showed those. I agree, they're good. Proline Trenchers. Now this was an interesting one. Proline Trenchers, cut and shut, 66mm. This one had me interested. Naturally, I asked for a picture of it. Check it out. 66 front, 61 rear, Proline Trenchers. Venge is doing some cool stuff. You guys are sleeping on him. JConcept, he listed Megalithic twice in 2 different sizes, and I actually didn't even know there was 2 sizes. So I learned something there. RC4WD Scrambler, we looked at those, and Proline Trencher, we looked at those. Huh? I'm filming! I then asked Venge his opinion on inserts. Just anything he wanted to say about them. I like inserts. That's that's what he said. He also said, printed ones seem to work well for me. I design and print my own, but also really like flubs. The pros are sidewall support and the squish. Speaking of that, let me message him right now. How do I go about getting my hands on some secret Venge inserts? Alright, who do we have next here? OCCRC. I reached out to this guy because anytime I ask him for help, he replies with a ton of extra information. So I knew asking him for 5 simple tires would result in this. Let's see what he says. JConcept Ruptures. Once again. SoCal's favorite go anywhere tire. Seen them used in all conditions with success. JConcept Tusk. Incredible grip on rock and in loose conditions. This is what the JConcept Tusk tire looks like, and they have them in 2 different sizes, I think. These work well for me. I like them. Proline Trencher, once again, every person has said this. RC4WD Scrambler. Once again, several people have said this. This is a new one. Little Guy Racing Swamp King. Great multi-use tire, better once worn down. And then lastly, I wasn't expecting this one from him. Pitbull PBX. This is one of my top 5. Pitbull PBX. Notable small tire with crazy good grip using Flub V1. Then I asked him about inserts, if he wanted to say anything. And he listed a bunch of inserts in order, I guess, that he likes or prefers. Okay, let me just do this in case you want to pause it and read it yourself. Next person I reached out to, 240 Zach. I chose this guy because he does a lot of competitions and he has a lowered Mercedes wagon. First up, Proline Trencher. Once again, every person has said that. Next up, Proline Trepador. I've had good luck with this tire. Yep, good. JConcept Rupture, once again, seen that a bunch. RC4WD Patagonia. First time seeing this one on our list. This is the Patagonia tire. I'm not sure this is... No, it's not. This isn't in my top 5, but I think it is in my top 15. It works well for my rocks. It just seemed to slip a lot. But they have been able to complete the Drunken Frog. Lastly, he said Proline Baja Pro X. Right there's the Baja Pro X that he's talking about. I don't know if I like these or not. I don't think I have anything to say about that one. I then asked him about the inserts, much like everyone else. As for inserts, I haven't experimented much. Most of my trucks have flubs in them. One or two of them have flubs in the front only, and modified Proline dual stage foam in the rear to help with the bounciness that the flubs can have. 240 Zach, thank you. Next up, this is one of our heavy hitters, 786 Crawlers. This is the guy that did the servo behind the axle build. Right here was his list, and then he also wrote something about each tire, which I will read to you right now. Injora 72mm XHX pins. Amazing tires for comp enthusiasts. No need for cut and shut tires anymore with these. The pins can be trimmed to fine-tune grip and get exactly the performance you need. Next up, JConcept Rupture. Once again, fantastic all-around tire. Works best on heavier trucks where it can fully shine. RC4WD Scrambler. Once again, saw this from nearly everyone. OG tire, still a strong contender. Performs well across a variety of conditions. Proline Trenchers. We just looked at these. These require patience to break in properly, but the wait is worth it. Once broken in, they're a top-notch scale tire with a great performance. And then lastly, this one caught me off guard. Proline Hyrax, the small size. This is the Proline Hyrax tire. He says it's his go-to tire for smaller tires. Needs a bit of break-in time, but is great on all kinds of rocks. Proline Hyrax. Yeah, I think I've liked mine. I don't have anything bad to say about them. Next up, I asked him about inserts. You can increase the performance of pretty much every tire with a good insert setup. Dual stage foams are my favorite. Crawler Innovations or OGRC would be good brands to look at. Flubs are pretty good as well. Next up, Texoma RC. I asked him for very obvious reasons. He clearly knows what he's doing. Here was his list. And I think he had some extra stuff to say. He had extra stuff to say just about the first one he listed. His current favorite, 60mm V pins, sold under different names on Amazon. Hobby Park and All In RC are two of the sellers. Easy to cut and shut, 2 lugs added to make it 67 to 68mm. Absolutely awesome tires. I will be teaching how to use them for the different inserts I have. Actually, here's everything he said, if you just want to pause it and not listen to me. Lastly, Money Pit RC. Now you may be asking, why in the world would I ever ask Money Pit RC his top 5 tire choices? I had a plan. I thought, whatever 5 Money Pit gives us, that's how we'll know what tires to avoid and not use. But he actually surprised me. Here was Money Pit's list, and he wasn't too far off of the other people. So we have the Little Guy Racing Black Labels, which Partying Guy Dave suggested. We have Injora Swamp Stompers. Not something I've tried or heard other people suggest, but that's okay. He said the Proline Trenchers, which everyone has said. Little Guy Racing Swamp King, and then the Patagonias. Both of those have already been said also. So Money Pit, I was actually pretty impressed with your list. Good job. Yeah, I think that's it. I just wanted to make a quick, helpful video. And I wanted to give more than just my opinions. As far as my top 5 go, my top 5 were already covered by all of these people. Most of these tires I agree with are good. Pitbull PBX, JConcept Megalithic, Proline Trencher. Let me try and get a bit different here. What wasn't used? I feel like every tire I have on my trucks was listed on this list. I don't really have a unique one to give. Yeah, I don't think I have anything different than what was listed here. These are all good tires. They've all worked well for me. Yeah. The plan is, I'm going to do a video style like this for every component. So axles, I'm going to reach out to a pile of people, get their opinions, get them to say couple words about axles, then we can compare all their answers. Same with shocks, same with motors, ESCs, everything. So, hopefully this helps somebody. I've had a ton of people asking my favorite tires. They were all in this video. Thank you guys for watching.